Arthritis is a disease where our joints become overcontracted, hardened, tight, and inflexible, or overexpanded, inflamed, swollen, and inflexible. Anxiety and arthritis interact. The same with heart disease and emotional disease. Extreme contracting food makes deep relaxation much more difficult. Exercise is generally a contractive effort, attracting one to expansive foods. Extreme exercise is not the ideal remedy to an over-acid condition. Prolonged excessive use of salt leads to overcontraction, hypertension, and rigidity. The richest source of natural mineral salts is seaweed. The most common way of treating all mental problems today is to reduce symptoms with drugs, not food. And these drugs have an extremely expansive effect on behavior. The Millers, I'm happy to see, recommend that we fast whenever feeling disoriented, confused, or dissatisfying in order to have a greater sense of clarity, lightness, and awareness. Fasting can be an effective short-term remedy for behavioral, emotional, and physical imbalances. A diet of refined carbohydrates does not support life. A diet of refined carbohydrates and animal foods is a diet of affluence and is associated with physical and mental disorder. A variety of human disorders are reported to improve drastically when refined foods are eliminated from the diet, including ulcers, tumors, cancers, especially colon, gallstones, appendicitis, hemorrhoids, heart and vascular disease, diabetes, hypoglycemia, obesity, tooth and gum disease, as well as psychotic behavior, anxiety, apathy, depression, and uncontrollable violent and antisocial behaviors. Again, that is the human disorders that are reported from a diet of refined carbohydrates and animal foods. Wow. Let's look at fiber and behavior. Now, I've mentioned before the intimate connection between the gastrointestinal system and the coordinating and integrating mechanisms of our nervous system. So we have the image of the colon being connected to every other part of the body through the nervous system. But let's understand this important detail as thoroughly as we can. Non-specific nerve fibers, called C fibers, are dispersed throughout the intestine and conduct impulses to the arousal center of the brain, the reticular activating system. This energy input primes the central nervous system and facilitates effective conduction of all incoming and outgoing messages. Eating whole, high-fiber food leads to rapid, continuous, smooth transit of food through the intestines, which leads to regular, continuous firing of nonspecific nerve fibers into your arousal system and more effective neural conduction, which results in more integrated and coordinated behavior. Even more basic, refined foods promote incomplete, inefficient digestion with slow transit times and the accumulation of toxins. Anxiety, aggression, and depression are all nurtured by eating a diet of meat, eggs, cheese, and refined carbohydrates. With the slow transit times, the animal foods putrefy in the intestines, producing toxic byproducts, and if not quickly eliminated, cause biochemical and behavioral disorders. Now, bran is not a whole food, nor is it a substitute for whole food. Vitamin deficiencies are caused by massive refinement of food. Processing food destroys the dynamic vitality in food. Vitamin deficiency is linked with mental disorders, including anxiety, hyperactivity, delusions, psychotic episodes, depression, and mental retardation. What about supplements? The Millers believe vitamin supplements are unnecessary if you're eating the centered, balanced, natural, whole food diet they recommend. Refined foods such as alcohol and sugar are unbalancing and disintegrating as their metabolism depletes the body's reserves of vitamins and minerals. The absence of simple whole food on our supermarket shelves is evidence of social and economic disintegration. We have got to learn to eat adequate sources of nourishment. So, the next thing the Millers talk about regarding sane eating is chewing. They believe that whole meal breads made out of whole grains and whole food, root crops, etc., require more chews per bite and reinforce this behavior by becoming tastier and increased chewing. The way people chew their food, an important part of digestion, and one over which we have the greatest conscious control, indicates how they live their lives. The response tendency carries over into daily life, hence the phrase, biting off more than one can chew. Gestalt therapy notes adults who swallow their foods in gulps without chewing are impotent. They demand immediate gratification and are unable to achieve satisfaction and indiscriminately accept what they are told. Chewing is a multifunctional process which first, mechanically increases surface area, enabling the beginning of starch digestion. Second, stimulates the flow of gastric juices. 3. Is psychologically relaxing and integrating. 4. Stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system to stimulate digestion. 5. Chewing promotes a normal, healthy outlet for aggression. 6. Chewing is a meditation, harmonizing the body and preparing it to receive food. Slow, careful eaters are more sensual in bed now. Chewing whole food well is relaxing and integrating, improves health and digestion.